Hey, Megan. Cincinnati's not going to bring a player, which I advised them not to do. Once again for this press conference, we'll take questions for the players first, then dismiss them. The locker room will be open for 15 minutes, and then you can, while the locker room's open, and Gino Auriemma will be available up here for questions as well. Hey, Mike. Sorry. Yeah, that's fine. Nope. Make sure. I'll make sure that. I'll grab it, okay, if you're not back. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he had an interview on the court, so it only with TV. So when he entered the locker room, that's when it started. Yeah. hopefully I'll ask, I'll ask her to make a statement, and then, Okay. Yeah, they'll be on our website. Oh, it's good. Just got it. Yeah, they're headed down now, so. They're on their way. Yeah, they can go, yeah. The locker room's open now. UConn's locker room is open. Okay, we're joined on the dais now by head coach Gino Oriema and UConn student athletes Azare Stevens and Nafisa Collier. We'll take questions for the student athletes first and then dismiss them, and then we'll take questions for Coach Oriema. So just raise your hand if you have any questions. We have handheld mics.
Azare and Nafisa, can you just talk about the defensive effort? Obviously, the big run, but I mean, I think you held them to 8 baskets on 58 shots, and can you just talk about how you guys approached the game defensively?
I think everyone gave a really good effort tonight. We did, we knew our scouting report. We knew what we wanted to take away from them, and I thought we had a lot of energy and came out and did what we wanted to do.
Yeah, I think everyone who came in just contributed. We really did a good job of just like tips, deflections, and just kind of harassing them on the defensive end.
Azare, obviously you got the start tonight. Did you feel a little extra, I don't want to say pressure or anything, but to play for Gabby today, to do a good job for her, and how do you think that you played?
No, I don't think I felt any extra pressure. I try to just approach every game the same and just doing anything that I can to help the team out. My role changed a little bit tonight, but not really. I was still expected to do like what I'm expected to do every night, and I think just as a team we did a good job of pulling together a solid win for Gabby.
Sure.
Fees, can you just talk about that second quarter, holding a team scoreless for an entire quarter? Were you aware of that during the quarter, and did you guys talk about it at all to try as one of your goals there while you were playing that quarter?
Yeah, our goal is to always shut teams out, but it rarely happens. Like I said, we just try to bring a lot of energy coming in tonight, and we got a lot of steals and deflections, like Z said. So we did notice it, especially towards the end when we went into halftime. But during the game, you're kind of locked in on defense and trying to do what you need to do instead of looking up at the score.
And for both of you, were you aware that you had tied a school record in terms of holding a team to 5 points in a half? And how much are you more proud of your defense this year or your offense, and why?
No, we weren't aware of that. I don't really check the scores and stats during the game like that. Wait, what was the second question?
In terms of being proud of your defense over your offense, is that something you guys take more pride in than your offense? Do you take pride in both equally, and how do you approach it?
I think we're trying to focus more on just being like two-sided players, and so some of us are really gifted offensively, but it means a lot more if you can defend somebody too. So I think that we've done a good job of like keying in on that.
Yeah, Ezra, you yeah, see?
I meant like the
This
team.
was what my question was going to be.
Like some of us are really gifted.
Most of the season he's been all over the fact that you can't play a lick of defense. Do you think that's still true? How much better do you think you've improved over the season?
I think I've improved a little bit. It's still a work in progress. Why did you ask me that right next to Coach? I mean, yeah. I think I didn't foul anybody, so that was a positive of this game. But I mean, it's a work in progress. It's something that I'm focusing on every game. So it feels good to have games like this where I don't foul or make silly mistakes as much on the defensive end.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Thank you, ladies.
A work in progress, like she's got 8 years here or something. Better progress fast.
Questions for Coach Oriema?
Gino, when your bench is shorter, like tonight it was, before the game, do you say anything to your starters about pacing themselves, about managing their minutes, managing their energy?
No, not really. I think they're pretty aware from our practices and the way we play. That if they have to play a lot of minutes, they don't have a problem with that. Matter of fact, most of the time they prefer it. I don't think anybody wants to play 40 minutes, but I think the actual time out on the floor is not as big of an issue as just the emotional investment you have to make in a game, and that gets you maybe more fatigued than the actual time you're spending playing. Because even when you look at the minutes last night or tonight, whatever, you might have someone play 30 minutes, but that's about it. So it's still 31 minutes. That's still not a lot. That's like 1/3 of our practice. So it's still not a lot of time, but it's just the emotional part that goes into it. And they know. And today, we were hoping that we could get a couple people involved. And I thought, I thought Megan came in and gave us some good minutes. And, fourth quarter was again, we're getting close, and one of our goals before the season ends is to win one of the fourth quarters. So I think we're close. I think we only lost that one 10-9. So we're making progress.
Gino, two-part question.
Yeah.
With Gabby, could she have played?
Yeah, she could have.
Okay, and secondly was the sharing of the basketball and all the things that, that have been traits of this program. When you're in so many blowouts, how difficult is it? And they seem to always do a great job of not falling into bad habits. Because sometimes when you're in a game like that, you can sort of do things on your own rather than the team concept. And they've been good about not doing that.
Yeah, no, I think that's part of, I hope, of of playing here at Connecticut, that you don't necessarily base how you're going to play on what the score is or who the opponent is. The guys that have a lot of bad habits, I usually try not to put them on the floor for long minutes, so that's why it looks good a lot of times. So the guys that play a lot of minutes, they understand. We're not being, it's postseason and you want to win and all that, but, we're not sitting here saying, I don't care how bad we play as long as we win today's game. Obviously, we want to win today's game. But in the meantime, you still want to get better. You still want to improve in a game. So if you're out there doing dumb stuff, you're not improving. And I mentioned to Lou one time in the second half before she came out, I said, actually when she did come out, I said, I love your strategy when you're not knocking down shots. I think you had maybe one more assist than air balls. So I thought that was probably a wise decision on your part to start passing the ball. So they're smart. They understand what's going on.
Gino, obviously a hallmark of this program has been these big runs, but this year, I mean, 40-something points, 38 today.
Yeah.
What's led to that, and is there something different defensively about this team?
I don't know that there's anything. We might be getting a few more block shots than we did last year, you know, because when Z's in the game, maybe. I don't know. I think we're a little quicker than we were maybe last season, and because they're a little bit older, you know. Crystal playing so many minutes, I think, adds to that. You know, I think the ball gets up the floor a little quicker. But I don't know how to explain the runs. I think, you know, you could say, well, the other teams you're playing, we've had some runs against really good teams that you can't explain. So I think our defense has been pretty solid all year long. You know, we haven't had a lot of games where we could say, well, you know what, we really played lousy defense today. And so maybe because we play pretty good defense every night, we get a lot of opportunities to get out in transition. And, you know, that's the only way that I can explain it. I don't think we're being a little bit of an emphasis in practice to do a couple things a little quicker, but doesn't explain why the teams don't score as much against us. I don't know why.
You know, there's so many crazy numbers and streaks and all that, and now the latest one obviously is 100-0 in conference play. Can you put that into words? It's not something you think about in the beginning, but another crazy one, right?
Yeah. I've run out of ways to describe some of the stuff. I asked, matter of fact, just today in the locker room, I asked Kia and Gabby how many games they lost in college, and they said 2. And I said, well, most teams in America lose that many in a week, and you guys have lost 2 games in 4 years. And then I asked Lou how many games she's lost in college. She said 1. And I said, if it must not be easy to do because we're the only ones doing it. So there must be something that we're doing that allows us to put ourselves in position to do that. And what I was trying to explain, the reason I said it to the guys on the team was there's things you have to do to play on our team. And because we make you do those things, we're able to put ourselves in position to do that. You know? I've been trying to describe to these kids, because it's getting harder and harder every day, you know, to describe how success happens. You know? So I try to put it in the same context as going to school. Like if you go to class and you do average work, you're going to get a C. That's why it's called average. And if you want a B, you have to do more work. And if you want an A, you have to do even more work. And you have to give up stuff. You have to sacrifice some things. Maybe you can't do all the things that everybody else does. Or if you're just happy getting B's all your life, there's nothing wrong with that either. But you're never going to get the satisfaction of what it feels like to get an A in a class. So I said, this is just another class for you guys, basketball is. If you just want to be average, then you do average work. If you want to be a little bit above average, then you do a little more work. If you want to get A's in basketball, then you got to do stuff that other people aren't willing to do. Especially if you have the talent like we do. We have talent. But some of these younger guys coming out of high school, man, they want to show up and go, I'm here. Where's my 3.7? Yeah, like my father used to say, I got your 3.7 right here.
We have time for one more question.
Right, Rich?
Hey, Coach, Monica McNutt.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you'll face USF again, a familiar opponent. listening to you, it's not so much about what other teams do, but
Right.
are there some signatures that you're looking for in your team's performance tomorrow that let you know that you're ready for the next tournament?
Yeah, because there's so much time between what happens tomorrow and when the next tournament begins. I think if it was, tomorrow is what, Tuesday? So if the NCAA tournament started for us Thursday night or Friday, then maybe like, okay. But we have almost 10, 11, who knows, 12 days maybe. I don't even know when the next game is. But so tomorrow, you're playing somebody for the third time, and it's not going to have anything to do with the other two. The second time we played them wasn't like the first time. So tomorrow, the number one thing is we figure out how to win tomorrow night's championship game, plain and simple. Beyond that, we've won championship games in conference tournaments and lost in the NCAA tournament, and we've lost in conference championship games and won in the whole NCAA tournament. So the best thing that's going to come out of tomorrow is we got 11 or 12 days for Gabby and everybody else to get healthy. That's probably the number one thing. Because I think winning a championship's important. And believe me, I want to win it. As long as we're keeping score and giving out trophies at the end, I want to win. But probably more important is we got 10 or 11 days to get caught up.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Pat, you can ask the first question. Yeah. Here we're joined by head coach Jamel Elliott. Coach, if you just want to take some questions, or would you like to make an opening statement first?
Well, we live to make it to the semifinals. 1 seed against a 4 seed. I know Coach Auriemma well, and I know this tournament. He's gearing his guys up to be ready to go deep into the NCAA tournament, and he had them prepared well. I hadn't seen them come out as aggressive as they did today. Hitting on all cylinders from a defensive end. They really made it tough for us to even get a shot off. So it was tough for us in that first half. Second half, I thought we settled down a little bit, gained some confidence, was able to find some ways to get some easier shots at the basket. But I'm proud of the way my team played hard. They never gave up, fought to the finish, to the very end.
Jamel, you won 6 out of 7 getting to this point. Do you think the team has done enough to get a WNIT bid or a postseason bid? And what do you say to your kids after this? Do you tell them to forget this game and just concentrate on what they did to end the season?
I told them to wake up, the nightmare's over. It's a new day. Hopefully another season's going to be coming our way. I'm staying positive, with postseason. It's in the hands of the committee now. Hopefully we did enough. The last 6 or 7 games of the conference, winning 5 out of 6 up until today, I believe we're trending in the right direction. Hopefully the committee will see the same thing. My fingers crossed. I'm saying a lot of prayers, but I'm really hoping that I live to coach Shanice and Anna at least one more time.
Can you put into perspective what your team did this season? Obviously, you weren't picked to finish where you finished, and obviously not the greatest ending, but you did have a great run there at the end.
Well, we were picked to finish eighth by my colleagues in the conference. We finished fourth with a bye. It's been a season of first for us. On Saturday night, we was watching the 8:30 game for the first time since I've been coaching here at Cincinnati, actually live scouting the team that we're going to be playing the next day. That was a first. Winning senior night, just to have a bye, at home, that was a first for Anna. We hadn't won a senior night since she's been a player. To come here and win a game, that's been a first for a long time. So this is a season of a lot of firsts, and hopefully our culture is continuing to evolve in a positive way, and we're looking forward to, seeing where this program goes. We're losing 2 great seniors, but I think we have some great young players in the locker room who's gained some great valuable experience this season, and I think our future is bright. But, first things first, we got a week to wait, and we got a week to practice, and we're going to prepare like we're going to be playing next week, and hopefully we will get the call and say that we are.
Obviously, you've known UConn for many, many, many years. The hallmark they have is to go on these runs, but this year they've been like these unbelievable runs, 40-something points today, 38 points. What are you seeing from them that they're doing differently defensively at all? And is there anything that's like the hallmark of what Gino does that they've grasped?
Playing hard for 40 minutes, and they have length, they have athleticism, they block shots, they do it all, When you're scouting teams, our job as coaches is to find a weakness that we can capitalize on. And this year has been the hardest year possible. That we played them, that we've been able to find, a weak link other than their bench, And, he doesn't play them. So it's hard to find that weak link. So you just try to go out and play UConn and try to have small victories, try to give your players as much confidence as possible, will them to play hard every possession. And, that's about it. But, today we ran up against a buzzsaw of a team, and we just couldn't get it going, and they got it going at the right time today. And, hey, we made it to the semifinals. I'm really proud of that.
Any other questions for Coach? Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.